So this is a continuation of my response to Andrea's question about parenting during COVID-19. Should have been COVID-20, right? Because it seems like 2020 is the year of COVID. All right, so parenting during this whole episode of COVID-19 is different from parenting in other times. There are a couple of things about it that are different, which I want to discuss and just share my perspective with parents who have young ones at home just now. And it's different when your children are younger and a little bit different when they're older. But in both circumstances, some things remain the same. And that's what I want to talk to you about. See, the difference between parenting during COVID-19 is that our children have been taken out of school. We have our children home during the summer holidays, but it feels different because our belief is during a summer holiday, children should be at home and they should enjoy themselves. Whereas just now during the COVID situation, we feel that this is wrong. Children should be in school and they're missing out on some important education. So that's the first belief. So going into this whole parenting thing, we're going with the mindset of pushing back. Our kids should be studying and now we have them home and structure is gone, routine is gone, learning is gone. They're having way too much fun. And when we go into the situation with that kind of a mindset, it's not fun for us. We have sucked the fun right out of it. What is the harm? Please tell me. What is the harm if children don't study? Is there any harm? I mean, because think about it. As Abraham would say, going to school is like going to prison. Children don't want to be there. Most children don't want to be there. All children love the social aspects, I guess, of school, or most of them do. But children don't really like structured learning the way it is in schools. They want to learn on their own. They want to get their hands in the clay. They want their hands in the sand. They want the hammer. They want the saw. They want to do it. They want to build it. They want to learn it by going there and seeing it. They don't want to read about the Egyptian civilization. They want to go see the Egyptian civilization. So when we put our children through that rigid structure of school, our children are pushing back. So many generations of children have been asking for freedom. And the result is now they have it, or, well, some form of it. But parents are just sucking the life out of it because well-meaning parents think that just because kids are at home does not mean that they should have freedom. They should do their lessons. They should have a structure and a routine. Do you know that one of the reasons parents cannot stand for children to have too much fun is because when kids are having so much fun, it shines a light on the absence of fun in the life of the parent. They just can't keep up with the fun that the children are having. So that's one thing. And so my opinion is, and in my household, it's summer holidays, just come early. Go have fun, my son. Make the most of it. And I make him responsible for his work. When he has an assignment, he's responsible for doing it. All I ask him is, have you done it? Did you have an assignment? Okay. Have you done it? Okay. And I don't ask any more than that because it's not my responsibility. If he does not do his assignments, if he does not turn them in on time, he will get to live the manifestation of it, and that contrast will teach him what he wants to do next. Why should I take that opportunity away from him? And that's the way I've parented both my children. I've never, ever had to structure their work. And I never want to structure their work. I let them be responsible for it. They forget what they learn at school anyway. Summer holidays wipes the slate clean. So just let them have fun. They'll come and ask you. Trust me, they will come and ask you about learning things when they want to learn something. So ask your children if they want to learn something. And if they don't, leave them alone. Let their learning be more about getting their hands dirty. Let their learning be more about doing physics rather than reading about physics. Let their learning be about doing chemistry rather than learning about it. Biology. Take them for a walk and ask them to look at the different types of leaves. What are the differences in the different types of leaves? Make games out of it. Make it fun. Learning should be fun, right? So don't try and put a structure on this time that they have at home. Let them have fun. I'll tell you something. Fun is the solution to all the problems of the world. If our children have fun and they're at home and they're sending a positive vibration into the universe that's coming from the top of the emotional scale, they are contributing to the solution for COVID-19. Because the entire planet is stricken by this thing. And it's because many people, predominantly, had a negative vibration going on. So the counteraction to a negative vibration is a positive vibration. That's the only thing that can counteract it. And if your children can be part of the solution, please do us a favor. Let them be a part of the solution. And you don't become a part of the problem. The fact that you don't want them to have as much fun as they want to milk out of their life just now just means that you need to chill. You need to cool off. You need to relax. You need to meditate. You need to have more fun. The reason adults and parents don't think that they have the energy and they feel exhausted trying to keep up with their kids is because they have resistance. Someone who does not have resistance has all the energy in the world. Undepleting reservoir of energy comes to us from source. There are people who have long days, very little sleep, but they're refreshed. Why? Because they don't have any resistance to cope with. And so they wake up and they're fresh and ready to go. So you have to look at what you're doing, and rules take away from freedom. We gravitate. Our natural gravitation is towards fun and joy and happiness. So do those things that are fun. Have fun with your children, but don't take the responsibility for creating fun for them, and don't make learning into this big, huge thing. I know people who didn't know how to read or write till age 24. I know them. They live in my community. And now they roll in millions. And it didn't take them very long. You going to school and learning stuff is not what success is made of. And don't make this into a big burden of responsibility. Now my children are at home, so I have to homeschool them, and it's this big, huge responsibility thing. Don't make it into that, because you also want your freedom just like your children do. And when you make it into this big burden that you have to carry all day, every day, for seemingly endless period of time, it makes you cringe. And it's a valid reason for cringing, Nobody wants their freedom and their joy sucked away from them. Don't see your children. So that's the other thing. Don't see your children as sucking up your joy and your freedom. Because then you don't enjoy having them around. It's a burden. If you make it into a burden, but you don't have to make it into a burden. You're not responsible. And you're not responsible for entertaining them either. If you thought really that they wanted to learn something, let them ask, just like they ask for games. But only do as much as feels like fun, as feels doable for you. Because a depleted mother is not a good mother. And a depleted mother is a mother who is pushing against herself because she has this image of what a good mother looks like. And when she does not fit into this image, she feels less than. And then she beats up on herself. I'm just taking an example of a mother, but it applies the same way to both parents. You have this image of what a parent should be like. And in order to really be a good parent, you need to change that definition. You need to start accepting the fact that your job as a parent is to provide love. That's it. You're providing love, and everything else is a bonus. The roof over their heads is a bonus. The food is a bonus. I used to guilt myself into thinking that it was my responsibility. So, to me, food and sleep are two really important ingredients of a child's well-being. And I used to guilt myself over not preparing food. But soon as I stopped guilting myself over it, soon as I started telling myself that my children can fend for myself, then they started fending for themselves. And it made me feel so free. I never had to worry about getting home on time, because now I need to get home on time because I'm not going to be able to focus on my work, or I'm not going to be able to focus on this friend that I'm meeting after work because I'm too busy worrying about whether or not my children have had dinner. And so we put ourselves in, we create this image and then we want to fit into this image. And that sucks away joy and it sucks away freedom as well. So don't do that to yourself. Relax. Have fun. Have fun. You are entitled to be a child as well. You are entitled to say, not cooking. You want to eat? Go grab something. My mother used to do that to me. She didn't want to cook. She didn't cook. Go grab a piece of bread and put some butter and jam on it. And we would. Because we understood her desire for freedom as well. And your children understand your desire for freedom as well. They're not guilting you into all the things that you want to do. You are guilting yourself. All they want is to have a good time. They want a good hug from you. They want lots of hugs. They want to feel a vibration from you that tells them that everything is all right, that the world is a good place, that people can be trusted, that well-being abounds, that there is abundance in the world, that happiness is the main thing, that loving each other is the main ingredient for success. And that's what you want to teach your children. And you teach your children by demonstrating it, by showing the love and vibrating with that love. Because if you don't vibrate with it, doesn't matter if you have a smile on your face. Doesn't matter. Your children, they're telepathic. They have this connection with you. They know exactly what's going on inside. And when they don't feel a vibration, consistent vibration of love from you, they make up their own reasons for why it isn't there. Sometimes that reason is my mother is wrong or my father is wrong. Sometimes it is, oh, the world is a bad place because the world is hurting my mother. And sometimes they make it about themselves. It's about me. I'm creating this pressure for my mother. If I take this pressure away from her, maybe she'll feel better. And when she feels better, I'll feel better. Children have very complex thought processes, and they try and find reasons, because that's what it's all about. As they're growing up, they look for reasons for why things happen the way they do. And so our job is to hold steady as parents in a place of love. And the biggest part of that love is loving yourself. It's about being free-flowing and not asking for perfection, for accepting the fact that you too are entitled to freedom and joy. And just because you have children doesn't mean that you cannot have freedom and joy. And that's the other thing I want to say to you, because this is what parents guilt themselves over. They think, oh, now I have parents, that means I can't go out at night. I can't stay out late. Or I have to have discipline in my house, so I can't have people over and have them stay late. So we make up all these rules, and they're all bogus. They're all useless, because it doesn't matter how many rules you make. A child who is going to grow up being confident, happy, and successful will grow up being confident, happy, and successful regardless of the circumstances in which he or she grows up. And a child who is not going to do that is not going to do that even if you give them everything in the world. They can live in a mansion and have everything their hearts desire. They can have the best education and turn out to be the biggest failures in whichever way you measure success and failure. It is not about that. Not at all. A free child, a happy child, is a successful child, is going to be a successful adult in the future. Is going to be balanced, is going to be happy themselves, and is going to be the center of happiness for a lot of other people. And that's who you should be too. You need to be a center for flowing joy, happiness, and freedom for your whole family. And that comes from you practicing it and you showing your children that you can have it. Everyone in a family can have exactly what they want if they believe they can. And if you think that you have to make sacrifices, sacrifice is not a good feeling. Sacrifice is very low on the emotional scale. When you sacrifice things, you cannot be balanced. When you sacrifice things for other people, you keep looking for some sort of a return, someone to make you whole, someone to give you something back that makes it worthwhile. And I can tell you, nothing is worthwhile. There is nothing that is worth that sacrifice. Because when you sacrifice, your vibration goes low. And when your vibration goes low, you are of no use to yourself or to anyone else. So I'm going to stop now. I could go on for a while. I have very strong opinions about letting children be free and happy. And if you like, you can grab 2 of my books actually that I would recommend. Let me just grab them so that I can show them to you. Hang on one second. So this is a book called Is This Apple From My Tree? And this contains all my philosophies about parenting. And the other one is this book, and this is written for children to teach them how to manage their emotions. And it's called Billy B. Wells' Magic Wand. The last thing I want to say to you is that your child's success or failure in being able to learn how to use law of attraction and to be able to use the emotional scale and understand how things work, that's not your responsibility either. And so don't take it personally. Just trust that when your children are ready, all of this will come to them naturally. All right. Thank you so much for your brilliant question. Absolutely loved it. And I hope that this was of value to you. Take care. And hopefully I will have you come back to my next video. Bye for now.